What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. First of all, thank you for all the support I've been getting on the channel. Those of you that are new to the channel, think about hitting the subscribe button. If you do, make sure you hit the notification bell and hit all. Everyone else, do me a favor and check your notifications. Make sure they're on all and they're not on personalized. Those of you that see the video, hopefully, if you like it, you will give it a like. Share it with someone you think would enjoy it. And drop a comment. Let's try to get 1,500 likes on this one. Now, today's video, I always try to do like a cautionary tale and shit, right? Well, this one, as you're going to see, could have wound up having me in hot water at one point. But let's get to it. So, this is at the very beginning of my prison term, okay? I met a dude, you get there and you meet everybody from different places. And I met this vato named Cartoon, right? I'm not going to say what neighborhood he's from. But I met this cat named Cartoon. He had just got out of Corcoran SHU. And he had been involved in the war in Calipatria. This is 1995. So they had just got out of the SHU. So they were over there when it was, Calipat was new and was jumping. It was on between the blacks and the Southern Raza. And on that yard, there was actually a lot of the dudes that were in that beef over there in Calipat. Went to the SHU and got out. A lot of them were right there in New Folsom, so they knew each other. They had history with each other. Well, in me getting there and meeting all the different homies, hey, what's up? I was like, okay, I'm so-and-so, hey, you're so-and-so, okay, boo, boo. Cartoon was sucked up. Like, he was so sucked up, like, and the way he kept, like, there's skinny bottles that they carry themselves in a way where like, okay, he could probably handle himself. Cartoon was the opposite. Cartoon was the kind where you could probably, like, you felt when you met him, you could grab him by his neck and throw him against anything you wanted to, right? But he was cool people. Like, he was, hey, what's up, homie? How you doing? Like, he was one of them homies, like, hey, you good, homies? You need anything? He was always asking, hey, you good? You need anything? You all right? Okay, cool. If you need anything, let me know, homie. Don't hesitate to ask. That's the kind of dude he was. But then there was also, he was kind of like one of them dudes, like looking back, the insecurity. Like, he was one of them homies where he always wanted to have his arm around the homie. Hey, what's up, dog? You know what I mean? And, hey, give me a hug, homie. And that was different, right? It was kind of different. Eh? Like if he needed to feel loved, eh? That's what it seemed like. But he was, part of the crew, the in crew, right? The guy that I told you was my cellie that had a lot of say on the yard. He was always running around with him. And so that's how I was, I was always running fucking around with, hey, what's up, homies, Well, they had moved me from that cell. That was when I was in 7 building with the homie. I told you guys he was the one in from Pacoima. That video in Corcoran SHU that I did the other day, that was that selling. Well, they had moved me from that building, 7 block, to 3 building. And the reason why they moved me to 3 building was to put me in education. So back then, you had closed day education. Closed day is maximum security. You're on the highest security level called closed day. Can't be out at night. No, like, obviously there's no night yard, but you're not supposed to be like out of the building at night. I don't know. It's weird. You're not even supposed to be in the day room after 8. They didn't play that shit over there, or after a certain time, but they didn't play that part over there. but they didn't have enough classroom space to get everyone an education. So they had a building, 3 building, which was a regular building, but during the daytime, the day room was your school. And so you would come out for an hour a day, right? So they moved me over there, and I wind up selling up a cartoon, right? I was originally selling it with somebody else. The cartoon was like, hey, move over here, homie. I don't have a celly right now. So I moved in with them. The cell was Bonnaroo. You know, a lot of times, you know, vatos, especially, you know, raza, they'll make paint sometimes, or they'll go and buy paint. And people are, how do you make paint? So they would make black paint. They would get wax and burn soot the same way they make tattoo ink. Like this is hair grease right here. This is Murray's pomade. All this dark ink. They would put that soot in the wax, stir it up, make black paint, paint the floor, but then you had to lay a gang of coats of wax on it so you don't get the black all over your socks, right? Well, I move in with them, and he was cool as fuck. But again, there was always that feeling like he wanted to fit in. Like even though he was cool with people, he wanted to fit in more, right? And then he had an old lady. He was married, and this is before they took the family visits. Now they're back, but this is before they took them, right? And he would be all pumped up, that his lady was gonna come to the family visit, but she wouldn't come. Oh, it got moved a month, and he'd be all depressed and shit, right? Well, one day somebody comes from the shoe, right? And I see him talking to my ex-Sally. I'm just gonna call him Pacas, right? So I see him talking to Pacas, and I see the body language, right? So I get a little closer, you know, not trying to listen, but trying to just, you know, in case something goes wrong, I'm gonna have Pacas back, right? Everything, you know, was everything. And so I went over there and hey, what's up, Holmes? Everything good? And he's like, yeah. And he said, you know, Holmes, something's gonna happen, and it's gonna blow everybody's mind. And I was like, what? And he goes, there's somebody here. He goes, he ran me down something. He goes, there's somebody here that's been here with us for a while. Since we all got here, he's been here that long. And turns out he's a rat. He said, I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'll tell you right before it goes down, but I'm not going to tell you who it is. He goes, but it's somebody that when this dude gets hit, a lot of people are going to be like, what the fuck? And I was like, serio? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, all right, cool. And that was our conversation. So I go back to the cell, and I put my celly up. My celly and Pacas and me, we always talked, right? So I go back and I tell him, hey, Jones, look, these next few days, I don't know when it's going down. I'll let you know when I know. I said, but just be aware of who's around you, homie. I go, there's a mystery on the yard right now. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, there's somebody here that's been here with us. That's a rat, Holmes. And I said, Pacas, let me know right now that when this vato gets hit, a lot of people are their minds are gonna be blown. Like, what? And he was like, serio, who is it? Like, did he tell you who it was? And I was like, nah, he didn't tell. I just told you what he told me, homie. And he's like, damn, I wonder who that is. Holmes. He goes, somebody that's been here with us. So the next day, go to yard. I'm chopping it up with Pacas briefly. Hey, what's up? Okay, boom. He goes to do his thing. I go to do my thing. We go back to the cell. Boom, bird bath and everything. And my celly is like, hey, did homeboy tell you who it is yet? And I go, nah. He goes, fuck, I wonder who it is, homie. He goes, I can't figure it out. Like, that's been with us. That's been here. I was like, I don't know. He goes, why don't you just ask him? I said, because if he wanted me to know, he would have told me. He said, I'll let you know right before it happens. He's like, I'm going to figure this out. Another day goes by. They're getting everything lined up, apparently, right? Another day goes by, right? And the deck, okay. Pacas calls me over during yard. And he's like, hey, homie, let's take a lap. All right, let's go. Boom. So I'm like, he's going to let me know. They're probably going to whack him right now. While we're walking, he says, hey, Holmes, I'm going to ask you a question, eh? Did you tell anybody that I told you somebody's going to get hit? I said, yeah, I told my son. He said, why did you do that? And I was in my head, I was like, oh, damn. I might get hit now. And I was like, homie, the three of us always talk about this type of shit. And he goes, yeah, but I didn't tell him. He said, I told you. I didn't pull you and him over. I told you. And I said, damn, homie Spencer. He goes, nah, it's all right. He goes, don't ever do that again. And this is why I always tell people, there's no such thing as a secret, eh? You can confide in someone. You could have the most confidence in that person's ability to keep his mouth shut. The problem is he has somebody that he has that much confidence as well. And you're gonna tell him something. And it's very, very, very rare that you're gonna be able to talk to somebody and none of that conversation goes anywhere. But I learned that day. He said, hey, homie, what if it would have been Cartoon? What if he was the target, eh? If it would have been him and he would have locked it up, they would have hit you. So whenever you get made aware of something, homie, that's a gem for you. It's not for everybody else. I said, I got you. So there we go. He didn't tell me who it was, but then I go back to my cell and I asked my cell, hey, Holmes, why did you go and talk to Pacas about that? And he was like, huh? I said, why did you go and jam him up, Holmes? Like, I fucking told you something and you went and told him? You know, that could have got me in trouble, eh? And he's like, hey, Holmes, but I said, yeah, I said the same thing, homie, but still. I said, now, I said, I'm never telling you anything. It's not just you, it's anyone, homie. I just learned a lesson. So we left it like that. I was done with school. Like, as soon as I got in there, they signed me. They did my tape test and they saw my scores were 12.9 across the board. Signed me up for the GED. I got the GED, boom, and left. Went right back over there with Pacas, right? Well, check it out. The pegada goes down. I told the story about the pegada. It was the dude that got hit during the softball game. And it was one of the pegadas that I could say, when I saw this dude, he was the biggest homie on the yard. Huge. And when he got hit, I remember that one kind of fucked me up. I was like, whoa. And but anyways, I told that story. Now, let's get a little bit deeper into this. So, the Juras never found who hit that Vato that day, right? The squad was right there. New Folsom didn't want to solve that shit, right? They had the administration did. The cops on the yard didn't want to break. If you whacked the dude, if you stayed on him, then they'd be like, all right, get down, right? Back then. But if you hit him, boom, 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 and you knew he hit him good and walked off, I remember that day because I was told, hey, this is who it is. And I was like, whoa. And I was with the Llavero. We were standing off to the side. And I look, I'm facing them. The Llavero has his back to him. And when I saw it go down, I said, hey, it's going down. He goes, come on, let's walk off. And I remember as we were walking off, I glanced over the squad, the security squad was under the one they call IGIs, they are not IGI. People even in prison call them IGI. They're ISU. They're not IGI. IGI is one person on a regular joint. IGI is one person. That's a lieutenant. Anyways, I glanced over in the squad. I saw them looking at the hit going down. And they looked at each other, and then they said something, and they both turned like sideways, like, let's look at that part of the yard instead. Right? Well, I catch my first shoot turn. Right? I'm in the back. Next thing you know, Cartoon comes to the back. But he doesn't come to 5 building with us, which I know for a fact he wished he would have. No, he went to 6 building in that SAG. A5 and A6 were at SAGs. Now, back then, this is another thing that made New Folsom so much different than everywhere else. Back then, the legends were always in that ad SAG. Always. So Cartoon lands over there, and there's a legend there. And Cartoon goes out to the yard. He's on the yard group with the legend, right? And the legend meets him. Okay. Walks off. And, you know, they're running yard. And the legend calls the llavero over. Come here. He's like, hey, what's up? He said, what's up with that Vato Cartoon? And he's like, oh, he's from here. And, you know, and he said, no, listen to me. What's up with him? And he's like, oh, no, they brought him back. He's under investigation for this hit. And he's, listen to what I'm asking you, homie. What's up with him? And he's like, for reals? And he told him, do your homework. Turns out, this is how lucky I was. It's how close I could have been. Cartoon was a rat. They whacked him that day on the yard. They cut him, I believe, across his neck and across his side. And he was involved in a high-profile shooting at a brand new mall in LA. There's people that are going to hear this story and they're going to know, I know exactly who it is. Yeah, that guy. So when I told him, so all this time when he wanted to fit in, he was around the most political dudes on the yard, and he wanted to fit in. It's because he had a dirty little secret. That fool told him got a life sentence. Eh? His own wife, that's why she was canceling the family visits. But here's a crazy thing before we end this video. The llavero one day in that building, after Cartoon had got hit, they were escorting people in from yard to the cells. The llavero's walking through the rotunda. The cops aren't escorting him. They're still at the door. He looks to the left. The counselor's door is open. There's no counselor there. The gunner is watching the yard. He runs in. He's handcuffed. He sees papers. Grabs the papers. Boom. Runs to the cell. Drops them on the floor and starts kicking them under his door. The cops bring him in. Boom. It was like two or three papers that he was able to grab, right? You'll never believe what it was. It was the statements of Cartoon after he got hit. He talked about who really hit the dude on the yard that he was under investigation for. He talked about a bunch of people on the yard, including me. I fucking learned a valuable lesson that day. Cartoon thought he was going to skate, and it caught up to him. And then he made shit up. He like went after everybody that was there, that was ever good to him, and lied. We were reading it. We're like, damn. Cold game, right? But that's the story for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. Leave a comment. How crazy was that, man? I'm telling a dude, nobody on, like, the fact that that other dude was a rat, that was mind blowing. The fact that Cartoon was equally mind blowing. The dude had put in work, did his shoot term, was running around, was in the politics the whole time. He was living a double life. Again, that's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out.